Hello everybody, welcome to my channel.
Tippi Hedren is an American actress and animal rights activist, best known for her iconic roles in Alfred Hitchcock's psychological thrillers and for her lifelong dedication to wildlife conservation. Born Nathalie Kay Hedren on January 19, 1930, in New Ulm, Minnesota, she began her career as a fashion model in the 1950s before making a dramatic entrance into film. Her breakthrough came when Hitchcock cast her in The Birds, 1963, a suspenseful and innovative film that became a classic of the genre. Hedren's portrayal of Melanie Daniels, a socialite caught in a terrifying bird attack, earned her widespread acclaim. She followed that success with another Hitchcock film, Marnie, 1964, opposite Sean Connery, in which she played a deeply troubled woman with a traumatic past. Despite critical recognition, her collaboration with Hitchcock became controversial due to his alleged obsessive and controlling behavior toward her. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, Hedren appeared in a variety of films and television series, though none matched the prominence of her early roles. She is also known for her unusual Project Roar, 1981, a film made with real lions and tigers, which she co-produced and starred in. The movie, filmed over more than a decade, was dangerous and chaotic behind the scenes but reflected her deep passion for big cats. In 1983, Hedren founded the Shambhala Preserve in Acton, California, a sanctuary for exotic animals, many of which came from private owners or failed entertainment ventures. Her animal advocacy has influenced legislation and raised public awareness about the dangers of keeping wild animals as pets. Tippi Hedren is the mother of actress Melanie Griffith and the grandmother of actress Dakota Johnson, marking 3 generations of Hollywood presence. Over the decades, she has received numerous awards for her humanitarian efforts and contributions to film. Today, Hedren is celebrated both as a Hollywood icon and a fearless advocate for animal rights, leaving a legacy that extends far beyond her on-screen performances. Tippi Hedren's career and life have been marked by resilience, independence, and a fearless spirit, both in front of the camera and in her personal pursuits. Her transformation from a fashion model to a Hitchcock muse was dramatic. Discovered by the legendary director after he saw her in a commercial, Hitchcock signed her to a multi-year contract, launching her into cinematic fame. However, their professional relationship became strained, with Hedren later revealing that Hitchcock subjected her to unwanted advances and blacklisted her in Hollywood when she refused them. These revelations came decades later and contributed significantly to the discourse around power dynamics and harassment in the film industry. Despite the challenges, Hedren carved out a diverse career. She appeared in a range of TV movies and independent films, including The Herod Experiment, 1973, Charlie Chan and the Curse of the Dragon Queen, 1981, and later roles in Pacific Heights, 1990, and Citizen Ruth, 1996. Her calm, composed screen presence often gave her characters an enigmatic depth, even in supporting roles. Beyond acting, her most enduring passion became animal welfare, particularly the protection of big cats. The making of Roar, which featured more than 100 untamed lions, tigers, and other wild animals, was notoriously perilous. Dozens of cast and crew members were injured during its chaotic production. Still, the experience deepened Hedren's commitment to animal advocacy. She founded the Roar Foundation in 1983 to support the Shambhala Preserve, which houses rescued exotic animals and educates the public on wildlife conservation. Over the years, she has cared for lions, tigers, leopards, and even elephants. Hedren also played an important role in humanitarian work beyond animals. In the aftermath of the Vietnam War, she assisted Vietnamese refugees settling in the U.S. and is often credited with helping inspire the creation of the modern nail salon industry. She introduced a group of Vietnamese women to the art of manicuring, an opportunity that eventually gave rise to an entire professional sector predominantly led by Vietnamese Americans. Though she eventually stepped away from major acting roles, Hedren continued making occasional appearances in film and television into the 2000s. She received numerous honors for her contributions to film and animal welfare, including a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and the Women in Film Crystal Award. Tippi Hedren remains a unique figure in American culture, known as much for her roles in cinematic history as for her determination to fight for animals, refugees, and women's rights. Her courage, elegance, and unwavering sense of purpose continue to inspire generations. Tippi Hedren's legacy is multifaceted. She is not only a symbol of classic Hollywood glamour and suspense cinema but also a trailblazer in activism and personal reinvention. Her life's journey reflects a continuous effort to redefine herself beyond the confines of her early image as a Hitchcock leading lady. Hollywood challenges an evolution after her fallout with Alfred Hitchcock, which effectively stalled what could have been a meteoric rise in mainstream Hollywood. Hedren found herself working mostly in television and independent films. Yet she never allowed this career shift to embitter her. Instead, she embraced the freedom of selecting projects that aligned with her interests and values. She was a frequent guest star on shows such as Heart to Heart, The Bionic Woman, Dream On, and Seventh Heaven. Her performances were often praised for their dignity, warmth, and subtle strength. She also took on behind-the-scenes roles, becoming a producer and screenwriter. Her deep involvement with Roar, one of the most dangerous film productions in history, was not just artistic but personal. The film, which she co-wrote and financed with then-husband Noel Marshall, was a family affair. Her daughter Melanie Griffith and stepchildren were part of the cast, and many of them, including Hedren herself, were seriously injured by the animals during filming. Yet she remained fiercely proud of the movie, viewing it as a labor of love and a vehicle to highlight the majesty and unpredictability of wild animals. Animal rights and the Shambhala Preserve. Hedren's Shambhala Preserve, located in the Mojave Desert north of Los Angeles, has become one of the most respected sanctuaries for big cats in North America. Among the animals she has cared for over the years are tigers once owned by Michael Jackson and lions rescued from failed circuses, roadside zoos, or abusive private owners. Hedren has testified before Congress in support of stronger laws regulating the exotic pet trade and has been a vocal opponent of animal exploitation in entertainment. Her advocacy helped influence the introduction of the Big Cat Public Safety Act, legislation designed to ban private ownership of big cats and to restrict public contact with them. In 2022, the bill was signed into law, a milestone for which Hedren's decades of tireless work were widely acknowledged. Personal life and influence. Tippi Hedren has been married 3 times and is the matriarch of a Hollywood dynasty. Her daughter Melanie Griffith, born from her marriage to Peter Griffith, became a major film star in the 1980s and 1990s with hits like Working Girl and Something Wild. Her granddaughter, Dakota Johnson, has emerged as a prominent actress in the 2010s and 2020s. Known for films such as 50 Shades of Grey, Suspiria, and The Lost Daughter. Despite their celebrity status, Hedren's influence on her family has extended far beyond film. She has instilled in them a love of animals, personal strength, and a commitment to standing up for one's beliefs. Later recognition. In her later years, Hedren received numerous awards celebrating both her cinematic contributions and her humanitarian efforts. In addition to her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, she has been honored by organizations like the Humane Society of the United States and the Genesis Awards. In 2016, she published her memoir, Tippi, a memoir in which she detailed her life, her complicated relationship with Hitchcock, her family, and her commitment to animal welfare. Though now largely retired from acting, Hedren remains a respected and admired figure. Her life story, marked by artistic courage, personal sacrifice, and fierce advocacy, continues to captivate and inspire. Whether remembered for her poised yet vulnerable performance in The Birds or her fierce protection of animals at Shambhala, Tippi Hedren stands as a rare figure, both a cinematic icon and a real-world heroine. Tippi Hedren's enduring influence reaches across generations, not just through her cinematic legacy or her famous descendants, but also through her fearless independence, resilience, and deep compassion for people and animals alike. Even in her 90s, she remains a powerful symbol of elegance and conviction. Artistic identity beyond Hitchcock. Although her collaborations with Alfred Hitchcock were career-defining, Hedren worked hard to establish her own identity outside his shadow. The psychological tension and icy sophistication she displayed in The Birds and Marnie became the blueprint for the Hitchcock blonde archetype, characters that were composed on the surface but harboring deep emotional complexities. But after parting ways with the director, she explored more varied roles, often rejecting typecasting. She starred in several family dramas, action films, and thrillers in the 1970s and 1980s. Films like The Herod Experiment, Satan's Harvest, and The Cat Creature showed her versatility, even when working with modest budgets or in less mainstream projects. In many of these roles, she played strong women facing extraordinary circumstances, roles that reflected her real-life grit. A real-life heroine, her dedication to the welfare of exotic animals became her life's mission. What started as a curiosity during the filming of Satan's Harvest in Africa evolved into a decades-long campaign. The Shambhala Preserve, which she personally oversees, does not breed or sell animals, and its mission focuses on lifelong care. The preserve is home to animals once held illegally or irresponsibly, and it operates under strict guidelines to prioritize the animal's well-being. Hedren has never hesitated to challenge the entertainment industry or pet trade for its exploitation of wild animals. Long before such causes were popular or widely understood, she took a public stand. Despite financial and physical risks, including multiple injuries from the big cats she lived alongside, she remained committed. Her activism predates and arguably helped inspire the work of modern animal rights organizations and celebrity advocates. Fashion and style icon even beyond acting and activism, Hedren has been recognized as a timeless fashion icon. In the 1960s, she epitomized cool, understated glamour. Elegant suits, sleek updos, and minimalist makeup defined her screen persona. Hitchcock's costume designer, Edith Head, tailored much of her look in The Birds, which remains studied in film and fashion circles today. Her graceful bearing, even into old age, has made her a beloved figure at red carpets and film retrospectives. Personal poise and public grace. Hedren's life has not been without hardship, professional blacklisting, dangerous film projects, failed marriages, and physical injuries, but she has never wavered from her principles. In interviews and public appearances, she speaks with a calm, measured dignity. Whether recounting the dangers of Roar, her clashes with Hitchcock, or the joys of animal rescue, she radiates the calm assurance of someone who has endured much and grown stronger. In recent years, She has received tributes from major film festivals and critics who have re-evaluated her importance not just as an actress, but as a cultural figure who helped redefine Hollywood's treatment of women. Her memoir shed light on issues that were rarely discussed openly at the time, and her honesty helped pave the way for a new wave of women speaking out in the entertainment industry. A legacy still growing. Tippi Hedren's legacy is layered and ongoing. As the matriarch of a Hollywood family, her values continue to resonate through Melanie Griffith and Dakota Johnson, both of whom have spoken publicly about her influence. As a conservationist, she helped shift national conversation around exotic animal ownership and inspired changes in legislation. And as an actress, her work in just a few films, especially The Birds and Marnie, has immortalized her in the annals of film history. Few figures in entertainment have led such a multi-dimensional life. Tippi Hedren is not only a survivor of old Hollywood's darkest corners, but a woman who forged a life of purpose, courage, and compassion. Tippi Hedren's life story continues to resonate because it embodies the rare combination of classic Hollywood stardom and real-world impact. From surviving the studio system's pressures to building an entirely new path in animal advocacy, she carved out a legacy that defied the odds and transcended the screen. Early life and beginnings. Born Nathalie Kay Hedren in 1930 in New Ulm, Minnesota, she was the daughter of Swedish and German-American parents. Her nickname Tippi came from her father, a term of endearment in Swedish. From an early age, she was drawn to fashion and elegance, and by her late teens, she had moved to New York City to pursue modeling. She soon became a highly successful model, gracing the covers of major magazines like Life, Glamour, and 17. Her poised beauty and photogenic charisma caught the attention of advertising directors, and eventually, Alfred Hitchcock. Discovery by Hitchcock and the dark side of fame. Tippi's transition from modeling to movies happened dramatically when Hitchcock spotted her in a 1961 television commercial. Without ever having heard her speak, he cast her in The Birds. The production was intense, particularly the climactic attic scene, which involved live birds attacking her for days. She suffered exhaustion and physical injury during the shoot. Despite the trauma, her performance was powerful and nuanced, earning her a Golden Globe for Most Promising Newcomer. Her follow-up film, Marnie, 1964, offered another complex role, an emotionally damaged woman engaged in a psychological struggle with a man played by Sean Connery. Though Marnie initially received mixed reviews, it has since gained appreciation as one of Hitchcock's most personal and thematically daring films. Hedren's performance, layered and vulnerable, is now seen as central to its psychological depth. Behind the scenes, Hitchcock's obsession with Hedren became increasingly controlling. He allegedly made unwanted advances and punished her when she resisted, refusing to release her from her exclusive contract and effectively stalling her film career. In later years, Hedren spoke openly about this abuse, helping illuminate the power imbalances many actresses faced, and still face, in the industry. Career rebirth and cult status. Though her mainstream career was impacted, Hedren continued to work steadily in television and film, eventually amassing over 80 credits. She appeared in A Countess from Hong Kong, 1967. Directed by Charlie Chaplin. The Herod Experiment, 1973, with James Whitmore. Roar, 1981. Her passion project with real lions and tigers. Guest appearances in shows like Hotel, The Bold and the Beautiful, and Chicago Hope. In later years, Hedren achieved a kind of cult status, admired by cinephiles, feminists, animal rights advocates, and fashion historians alike. Honors and influence. Hedren's impact on cinema and culture has been recognized with numerous honors. A star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, 2003, Women in Film's Crystal Award for her courage and humanitarian work, the Living Legacy Award from the Women's International Center, subject of multiple film retrospectives and documentaries, including HBO's The Girl, 2012, in which Sienna Miller portrayed her. She was also the subject of critical reappraisal in books and articles examining Hitchcock's legacy through a modern feminist lens. Her experience helped shift public attitudes about director-actor power dynamics. Legacy in her family as the matriarch of a multi-generational Hollywood family. Tippi Hedren has been a source of inspiration and support. Her daughter Melanie Griffith enjoyed a successful acting career, and her granddaughter Dakota Johnson is a respected and sought-after performer in her own right. All three women have spoken about the close bonds between them and the values Hedren passed down, particularly strength, independence, and a commitment to personal integrity. Personal philosophy and enduring presence. Even in interviews well into her 80s and 90s, Hedren has displayed remarkable clarity, grace, and sharpness. She often reflects on her life without bitterness, acknowledging both the hardships and the triumphs. She views her animal sanctuary as her proudest achievement and continues to advocate for animals in captivity, urging people to understand the consequences of exploiting wild creatures for entertainment or vanity. Final thoughts. Tippi Hedren's legacy is not easily categorized. She was a breakout film star, a victim of a powerful director's manipulation, a courageous whistleblower, a mother and grandmother, a fearless animal rights activist, and an example of what it means to turn pain into purpose. Whether remembered for her role in The Birds, her pioneering activism, or her quiet influence on generations of women, Hedren's life is a testament to resilience. She stands as one of Hollywood's most fascinating figures, not just for what she survived, but for what she chose to become. Tippi Hedren's remarkable journey is one of transformation, courage, and legacy, stretching from the golden age of Hollywood to the front lines of wildlife conservation and women's empowerment. Every phase of her life offers a story of someone who refused to be defined by the limitations placed upon her, instead shaping a destiny of purpose and authenticity. A symbol of feminine strength in cinema. Although she starred in only a handful of major films, Tippi Hedren's influence in cinematic history is lasting. Her role in The Birds was groundbreaking, not just because of the film's technical innovations, but because her character defied the typical damsel in distress trope. As Melanie Daniels, she was assertive, intelligent, and emotionally complex. Audiences had never seen a female character endure such physical and psychological terror while maintaining composure and strength. Hedren's performance helped set a new precedent for female protagonists in thriller and horror genres. In Marnie, she again portrayed a character burdened by psychological trauma. The role required immense emotional depth and vulnerability, and Hedren delivered a performance that was raw and ahead of its time. It is now considered one of the most daring character studies of the 1960s, exploring themes of trauma, identity, and repression. Though Hitchcock attempted to suppress her career after their falling out, Hedren's influence could not be silenced. Film historians and feminists have since re-evaluated her story as one of empowerment, how a young woman, in a time of overwhelming male control in the industry, stood up for herself at the cost of fame. Hollywood's forgotten trailblazer. While many of her contemporaries remained within the system that both elevated and restricted them, Hedren chose independence. She pursued roles and projects outside the studio mainstream, worked with emerging directors, and even turned to television, then considered a step down for film stars, on her own terms. In the 1980s and 1990s, she became a familiar face to new generations, often playing maternal or mysterious characters in films and series. Her elegance and charisma remained unmistakable. Later appearances included Tea with Mussolini, 1999. I Heart Huckabees, 2004. Her Morbid Desires, 2008. Free Samples, 2012. Despite reduced screen time, every appearance reminded viewers of her timeless screen presence. The humanitarian behind the camera, Tippi Hedren's work with Vietnamese refugees after the fall of Saigon, is a lesser-known but extraordinary chapter of her life. While visiting a refugee camp in the mid-1970s, she noticed the women admiring her manicure. Realizing it could be a pathway to empowerment and economic opportunity, she arranged for professional manicurists to train 20 Vietnamese women in the craft. This act of compassion helped launch what would become a thriving Vietnamese-American nail salon industry. Today, Vietnamese immigrants dominate the field in the United States, an unexpected legacy tied to Hedren's generosity and foresight. In Vietnamese-American communities, she is warmly remembered as the godmother of this industry. Shambhala Preserve, a sanctuary built on love and vision. Hedren's greatest life work, the Shambhala Preserve, is more than just an animal sanctuary. It is a living testament to the human responsibility toward other sentient beings. Nestled in the high desert north of Los Angeles, it houses around 30 to 40 big cats at any given time, including lions, tigers, leopards, bobcats, and servals. These animals are often rescued from exploitative situations, failed roadside zoos, illegal private ownership, circuses, and abusive trainers. The preserve operates on donations and grants, and tours are limited to reduce stress on the animals. Every rescue story is deeply personal to Hedren, and she has ensured that Shambhala adheres to strict ethical standards: no breeding, no trading, no commercial exploitation. Her work directly informed legislation, including California's ban on owning exotic pets and the federal Big Cat Public Safety Act. She has been praised by organizations like PETA, the Humane Society, and the Animal Legal Defense Fund. Memoir and Legacy. In 2016, Hedren published her memoir, Tippi, a memoir, offering an intimate and candid account of her life. She spoke of the glamour and
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.